and you gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me. I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Only Friends podcast.
Special episode.
Not special.
Is Conrad's not here?
Well, if they're all special, then technically none of them are special.
Well, if everything is equal, then nothing is.
It's like you can't have happiness without sadness.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
You understand? Yin and yang.
Yeah.
You know, ancient Chinese proverb.
Life is all about balance.
Correct.
Ancient Chinese.
Confucius say, man who park meat in car. No, I don't remember that one.
Confucius say, man who stands on toilet is high on pot.
Yes.
Is high on what?
Pot.
Ah.
This was an old morning show bit back in Pittsburgh on WDVE.
Sounds really special.
I just found out you guys had green stickers on all of the stuff that could
Oh,
kill
yeah.
you.
Berkey knows.
Didn't know that was a
Mr. Yuck.
thing.
There you go. Thank you.
That's just a thing only in
No
Pittsburgh
fucking
or
way.
It's
Pennsylvania
not
or
just
some
a
shit.
thing
No
only.
fucking
I
way.
asked Michelle and she knew, but she didn't.
It's an
she
80s thing.
She knew the
Dude,
she knew the green
must
sticker.
have never hit the West Coast.
Can you pull that up?
Sure.
It's YUK. Mr.
What is
YUK.
this?
This is
Well,
before my
you're
time.
you're way too young.
Landon, you
They
never,
just let you guys die.
yeah, you never heard of Mr. Yuck stickers?
Especially in Florida. Like, they're just like, yeah, whatever. Oh, my God.
Right, Burke. It was created in Pittsburgh.
No way, really?
Yeah, at the UPMC Medical.
Well, that's because we're
Center.
the medical leaders of
Capital of the world.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, people don't understand. Pittsburgh's
What a genius idea, right? You take this little sticker. It's got a little, guy like sticking his tongue out, like, and you stick it on like cleaning stuff, and so when your kid, you do it with the kids, so they know, right? And then they're like, oh, I see that sticker. I don't drink that pink liquid.
I didn't fuck with shit.
Right.
Never.
It's got the poison control number on it, just in case.
Just in case, yeah.
just in case you
What
don't
is
follow
the-
instructions.
What is the lore here?
It was to keep kids from killing themselves.
Yeah, it was to keep from like getting into stuff they shouldn't get into, like cleaning
bleach?
products, bleach,
Bleach.
yeah,
It's a good one.
detergent.
So they would stick that.
You just put the green
You
sticker
can
on
put
it.
stickers
Yeah.
on anything
Yeah.
that you think would hurt your kids.
Right, yeah, stick it on the bottle.
Way cheaper than childproofing your house.
Hold on.
Right.
You being the buyer, or you being the people that made the bleach?
No, you being the buyer. Like
buyer.
Got it.
yeah, right. You
I
just get
see.
the stickers, and then kids like stickers, so you go around putting sticky stickers
I
on
see.
like different products with your kids, and it's fun, and they know now not to.
Why do you think it went away?
It's fun.
It seemed like a really.
I wonder if it did. I wonder if I can get them.
Maybe
I mean, you
kids
could
got
probably still
smarter.
get them, but
Yeah,
like
it's probably not not a thing.
Clearly, everyone from our childhood
Right.
was exposed to Mr. Yuck, and very clearly. To be fair, Landon's from Florida. I guess they don't really.
You
give a
just
shit.
drink
Yeah.
where's want and you figure it out along the way.
Like
figured
here's
out
some
the
bath
hard way.
salts.
No,
Figure it out.
Andre had never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. No.
Yeah.
Wow, man, you guys you're not privy to good culture. You don't know what you meant. You ever been to Pittsburgh, Guap?
I have.
When?
When I went to
I'm
Ocean City,
sus.
Maryland.
You just
Stopped
breezed
at
right through.
Well, the
you
person,
stopped at a-
the person I went out with was from Pittsburgh, and then she had grandparents that lived in Old Town, Pennsylvania, Newtown, Pennsylvania, something like that.
Newcastle.
No, I think it was called Newtown or something like that.
Doesn't sound real.
Well, it's
It's a newer town.
I guess I'm just lying that out.
Probably Union City.
I mean, he lies about some stuff
Union City.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's probably Union City. They don't
Yeah.
have many teeth down
Might
there.
have been down there in a
It was where the
Hapa.
Jackass guys went to college, like wherever that is.
Oh, that's like near Philly.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you went to Philly.
You probably went to Philly.
Maybe I
Yeah,
went to Philly.
people
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
sounds like you went to
Yeah, they definitely went to Philly.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Did they have
Right.
cheesesteaks there?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Were you getting like sloppy meat on a bun with some fucking mozzarella?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That sounds like Philly. Oh, well, you try.
I
Sounds like I went to Santa Monica. You mean San Jose?
The state itself is not that great, but the city, what a city.
Ah, beautiful city.
What a city. We got to
Pull
take
a
a
picture
team.
of that city.
We got to take a team trip to Pittsburgh.
I was just thinking of
Team trip to Pittsburgh.
Right.
I'm in.
just thinking of Michael in the office looking out the window going, the city.
There it is, Newtown.
Newtown.
This is definitely East Pennsylvania. I've never heard of it.
Definitely in the
It's
middle
in-
of the state.
It's
And
in
it looks-
Bucks- it's in Bucks County.
Oh, that's right out. That's a suburb of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bucks
Also,
County, by the way, very,
Amish town.
very, very important county for the election.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
also pretty sure that it traditionally goes red.
No.
Looking at those pictures?
No,
well,
no.
wait, is it?
It's like Erie. Erie's also another, like Erie and Bucks County are going to like essentially decide this.
Erie's a little bit different in the sense that it's a city, but it's a small city.
Right.
So like the city aspect of it tends to go blue.
Yeah.
But the second that you get 1 mile outside of it,
Right.
dark red.
Well, I think that's what you're seeing from Bucks County. I think there's a lot of suburbs.
Oh, Newtown.
Right, Newtown.
Right, yeah, Newtown,
you're
traditionally blue.
Probably the further you get away from Philadelphia, the more, horse and buggy you're going to see.
Right, yeah. A lot of Amish in that area.
yes,
Did you
yes,
come
I-
across any Mennonites?
I did not, but I did hear
How
that
about
they were around.
Moonanites?
On Rumspringa.
Negative.
Do you know about Rumspringa?
I do not.
Okay, so
I don't either.
I did kill a possum though, and I thought that was pretty cool.
that's sad.
On purpose?
No, I was driving down the street and the fucking thing ran out.
It happens.
Well, is that pretty cool? That sounds really sad.
No, it happens.
But why is that pretty cool?
It's not cool.
It's just I've
It's
never
definitely
seen a
not cool.
possum. I'd never seen squirrels before when I went out
You might
there.
not have killed it either.
It was just playing possum.
They play dead. Rumspringa is
Why is that cool?
I think it's just the Amish, but it might be the Amish and the Mennonites both. There might not be a difference between those two. I'm not really sure. But anyway, when they turn 17, I think maybe 18, something like that, they basically get like a period of time where they get to live in the modern world and experience it, and then
This is
decide.
when you're Amish you're talking about,
Yeah,
or a specific sect of the.
I'm
Amish.
not sure of that because I'm not really sure what differentiates Pennsylvania Dutch from Amish, from Mennonites to, they're all derivatives of one another though, So I'm not sure which of them have Rumspringa, but there was a TV show maybe on A&E like 10, 15 years ago called like My Rumspringa or something like that. And they would follow these Amish teenagers to New York City to experience their week or whatever it is. I'm not sure what the duration of the period is, but they were like filming them, being normal. It was wild the way they see the world.
Yeah.
It was so incredible to kind of get a bird's eye view of like somebody who'd never experienced electricity before. How do you do that and then go back and be like, I still want to be Amish.
Yeah.
Brian,
right,
is this like Moe's?
It's like exactly like Moe's. Yeah.
What's Moe's?
Is that from the bowling movie?
No, it's from The Office. Dwight is Amish, and he is his
Basically
brother.
Amish. Yeah.
Mose is his brother.
Rose is his brother. Yeah.
and it's just like he just like
he literally
represents
has never
every-
seen electricity.
yeah, it's basically he represents the Amish culture. There's some like very funny bits with him involved.
Yeah.
But so they go into the city, they see what's going on there, and they like
They experience it. They fuck.
they get to choose. They get to choose.
Afterwards, I think they get to choose if they want to go back to being Amish or whatever. I don't even know what that movie is, but I've seen it. Is it Sex Education or something like that?
I can't remember, but
I think
But
so.
They get to
it's called
choose
Sex Drive.
Sex Drive. That's right. Yeah.
if they choose to stay Amish or not.
I think that's the decision point after Rumspringa. Kind of cool. Give them an out.
You have 1 week to decide.
Yeah.
Okay.
At 16 when you're getting pussy. Enjoy the real world for a week, Now come back to our electricless horse
Off the
and buggy.
grid. Man, it's funny because if you gave that decision to people that are like in like their mid to late 20s or like 30s, they're like, you know what?
I'd be in.
That's what I'm saying.
I've lived it all.
Yeah.
If you gave me the inverse of Rumspringa right now, or we're like, all right, you have to go live and be Amish for a week and then decide, I might just be raising barns for the rest of my life.
Exactly. You just realize that you want to be like rich and anonymous, not rich and famous.
Not
you
even
want to
rich.
be off
like,
the grid.
I feel like money doesn't even matter to them. Like they're
Off
so
the grid.
resourceful. They just.
They don't need money. They just need a hatchet.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they just got tools.
You just go to Big Bear and you get a little piece of land. They say you can build yourself a cabin and be done.
Churn butter once or twice.
No more
Living in an
podcasts.
Amish paradise.
That's for sure.
I wonder if there have to be Amish podcasts out there.
No,
No,
they count.
you don't get
How are
electricity.
they going to run a podcast with no electricity?
During Rumspringa.
That's true.
No.
Yes.
Obviously.
No,
Yes.
they can't because they're only 16 to 17 and they only get to tell their story once.
I'm convinced.
Wait, wasn't there like a show on like A&E called Amish Mafia?
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right.
That was literally what I was just talking about.
Yeah.
Welcome to the conversation.
Sorry,
Wait, and the show would follow the Amish into the real world.
I only remember it following the kids on Rumspringa. Like they went to New York City. There was like a group of 4 or 6 of them or something like that, and they went to New York City and experienced.
And they go with
the
their
real world.
friends too.
Oh yeah, it was a party.
You and the boys. Well, imagine like there's like 4 of you. It's you and your boys, and then 2 of you like want to be out, but 2 of you want to stay in.
Right.
But like you're like the Fantastic Four, you know?
Yeah.
How do you decide?
You just got to make.
Is this
Oh my
them?
God, this is it.
Look at that.
This is definitely it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Wow, them boys are wild.
Oh, okay. So this is different.
Right.
I watched this also.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I watched that also.
Yeah.
Amish Mafia was way different. It was
Right.
so dramatized.
Right.
They made it seem like there
I
was
was like,
like
those guys don't look 16.
they made it seem like the
the John Gotti of the Amish.
yeah, like in
Right.
Central PA, there's like, you know, these subsections of Amish country, and like, you know, you got to work your turf,
Right.
type of thing.
Yeah. In New York
that
City,
was on
you
Discovery
get beat
Channel.
with a aluminum bat. In Amish country, it's wooden bat.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. No, that was on Discovery Channel. I've watched
There you
way
go,
too
yeah.
much reality TV in my day. Somebody put in the chat, low key, Berkey watches more reality TV than the manager.
I know, right?
Not recently. Not
Different kind of reality
way
TV,
different.
right? You
Yeah.
watch like that kind of stuff. I watch, you know,
You
Bravo,
used to watch
Real
that.
Housewives.
I still watch. I just
now
watched
you
an
watch
entire
now you watch
season.
Alone.
Yeah, I do like Alone. I just watched an entire season of Car Masters, Rust to Riches.
Yeah,
Love that
that's
show.
That's so up
What
your
is
alley.
They
You love Pawn Stars, I'm sure.
I did not love Pawn
See,
Stars.
I like Pawn. You don't like Pawn
I'm
Stars?
Rick Harrison, and this is my pawn shop.
What about like what was that one called? It's escaping me. Sorry.
So
What where they refurbish things and
Cars?
no, it wasn't
Oh.
cars. It'd be like old antique stuff, and they would take something like an old like Coca-Cola machine, and then they would turn it into something like brand new, right?
Are you talking about the 2 dudes that were?
There was a big guy and
Well,
a
there
little
was-
guy.
Yeah. One of them died. I think the big guy with the bear died,
Yeah,
or the beer
maybe.
died.
GG.
They were like, I can't remember what it was. It was like Restoration. No, not Restoration Hardware. That's like an NPR show or some
Restoration
shit like that.
Hardware.
or a show. Anyway, Car Masters, they take a beater
Not
car.
American. You mean American Pickers?
Yeah, that's what I was
American
thinking.
Pickers. No, this is a little different. That's where they go like to
Pick
random
locks and
places.
stuff,
Yeah, I
right?
liked American
Find
Pickers.
little
I didn't like whatever the fuck you're
gems in the
talking about.
rough.
I liked American Pickers. I don't like whatever the fuck you're talking
Sometimes
about.
they would like fish for things, and they'd find like a grenade, and it'd be like, "There's
Yeah.
a grenade in this river," and it's like, "What's going on here?"
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God,
like
yes.
things that have an element of mystery attached
Kingpin.
to them.
What a great movie.
There was River Monsters. I like that show.
You know why
River
that show's over,
monsters.
right?
Yeah, the host said he caught every known fish
In the world.
in the world.
He
yeah.
successfully beat river monsters.
Yeah.
It's not because they didn't run it. They didn't
speed ran it.
They had no more
Yes.
content.
Yeah, he speed ran
The
it.
content was
Literally everything was a derivative of catfish, by the way. No matter where he went, he could have been in the Congo, he could have been in fucking Louisiana, and every fish that he caught had the resemblance of a catfish. It was just a matter of like, is it going to be 20 pounds or is it going to be 300 pounds?
He literally completed the river monster challenge.
here in the Amazon River, and today we're searching for the never-seen-before monster of the river. They pull it in, it's just a 600-pound fucking catfish. I'm like, when does this thing not have whiskers?
Now, Catfish. Now, that's a good reality TV show.
Yeah, that was actually was good. The movie was good too.
Man, yeah, he beat river monsters. That's why it's over.
Man, we're just picking right up where we left off on Friday.
Oh, yeah, right. Of course, yeah.
If you guys weren't in for the 90s movie nostalgia, I hope you're here for the reality
There's
TV.
really nothing going on. I mean,
You want to know what's funny? Nikki's listening to this right now, and she's like, hell yeah, brother! But man, if we bring up that Conrad smashed a 4-teamer, it's just like, oh, not sports ball again.
he's waiting.
He didn't smash
Conrad
a
is
14.
waiting with
Belated
bated
Nikki,
breath.
happy birthday.
Oh yeah,
Happy birthday, Nikki.
Yeah. Conrad smashed a 7-teamer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
17.
That
That was like minus 1100.
Honestly, respect to that man. He did.
yeah.
He did do the.
I laughed at the man.
Yeah,
He said it was free money.
he's the last man laughing now.
Yeah, he said it was free money, and Conrad on the actual free money bets, he had the Chargers all in
Right.
against the
He
Panthers.
was 2 for 2 on the free money bets.
and then he somehow took a 4xer and said it was free money,
yeah,
and it was free money.
he did it.
You he says to tell you how's his ass taste.
Not good, bro. Not good. Not clean. That's for sure.
Oh man.
I'm now in second place in Weekend Warrior. I got half my parlay right. Fucking Penn State. God damn, man. Down
Dude,
bad. They were never winning that game.
I don't know why you would bet them. I know it's what's straight with your heart. I get it.
It's because they were a dog at home. Like, come on.
They should be a dog at home. They can't beat Ohio State for their life depended.
It doesn't make any sense.
Their life did depend on it.
It just literally doesn't make any sense that it's
playoff life.
like somehow it's the uniform that can't win.
It is
Like,
the uniform.
are they equally as talented? Maybe. I mean, defensively, probably. Offensively, I don't know. I think Adler is as good, if not better, of a quarterback. You know, they have weapons. Like, how do you have first and goal from the 1 and not fucking get in?
Oh my God.
What's going on here, guys?
Run it up the gut 3 times.
No, that was what was worse. They ran it up the gut 3 times and then threw on 4th. And it's like, come on, man. Like, you're literally falling into the script.
And if he would have just like pulled the ball back one or two of those times, he could have just walked in.
Just walk it in.
It's like,
They don't want it.
First and goal at the 1, the classic RPO.
Sick thing is like when they called the ball out at the 1, because the play before where they got down to the 1, it was close. Like, I thought it could go either way. There was going to be a touchdown or down at the 1. As soon as they called it down at the 1, I go, this is how it ends. This is always how it fucking ends.
It always ends in heartbreak.
They don't get in here. They never get in here. There's going to be 6 minutes left on the clock. They're going to find a way to get the ball back, and they're not going to. And that's exactly what fucking
I missed
happened.
the Steelers this weekend.
Yeah, man. What a weekend to have it off, though.
Hey.
You know, just get Ohio State, Penn State.
We had a great weekend.
We did. We had a great weekend.
We cooked. We fucking
Love
cooked.
Joe Burrow, man.
Joey B cooked.
I'm just happy to have him out of the way.
Yeah,
I hate touching the AFC North in these survivor pools.
Yeah.
Love Joe Burrow. I said good football. They are a good football team.
So we did take Cincinnati, and we faded
The Saints.
The Saints were so a few things went for us and against us. The Saints were projected to be 35% ownership, which would have fucking cooked for sure.
30. Oh, that'd have been great.
And the Bengals
about 20.
The Bengals were projected to be 20. So the Bengals came in high at 23. The Saints came in low at 20. But a lot of the ownership from the Saints actually moved to the Vikings, which
almost cooked.
Almost was a great thing for us. They were doing their damnedest to blow that game against the Colts yesterday.
They really were, but they prevailed at the end. But you know what? The Saints gone. So there's 40 entries out of the 191 gone. We are still in with did anybody else lose?
No.
They all won?
Except for the Chiefs
The
played
Bills
tonight.
almost lost. That would have been 40.
We had a lot of sweats. The Bills,
so many sweats.
The Bills were
Eagles?
close. The Eagles were close.
Right. So many sweats.
The Titans went to OT versus the Patriots.
I'm glad we at least got the Saints, because if they would have all been that close and they would have all like came through, that'd have been very disappointing. But we got 151 left.
151 left.
Is that implied value correct? So you guys just
Not
take
anymore.
It's higher now.
It's almost
higher.
100. It's like 96K, I believe.
Yep.
And I think we have a pretty nice path moving forward. Only a third of the field has Philly left. They have a really big matchup week 14 versus the Panthers, where their opening is 9-1 favorites.
It's Philly at home?
Yep.
Nice.
So that looks very promising for us. The big thing is, though, with these pools is that the holiday slates are so fucking tough.
They're so tough.
Like, you just lose so much of the field.
because the
And
matchups are really close.
it's not that. It's that you only have 3 matchups to choose from. So
let's get through Thanksgiving and hope it doesn't last till Christmas.
Well, if it does last till Christmas, the good news is that we should be in a position to hedge.
Right.
The bad news is that like we're going to be on chalk.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the way it's shaping up. It looks like
Is Christmas the last week?
no, 2 weeks after that,
2 weeks after Christmas.
or maybe
Okay.
3. I can't
Okay.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's slate 18, 19, and 20 afterwards. So yeah, 3 afterwards.
This is a 20-week contest. Is how it works?
Yeah.
Wait,
And
I
then-
thought Christmas was the 18th slate.
Okay, you might be right.
Yeah.
Then it's 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
Which is what you said 2 weeks after.
I couldn't remember,
But
it was one or the other.
So
but-
it's a 20-week contest, and then after week 20, everyone that's still in is forced to chop.
Slate 20.
correct.
Okay, late 20.
The
I see what you're saying. That's
well,
fair. Valid.
to be
That's
fair,
valid. That's
to be
valid.
fair, Circa labels them as weeks, but they use icons for the holiday.
Right.
So it actually is week 18 is the final week, but there's a turkey and a Christmas tree.
There you go.
Okay, we can relax on the zoo's vernacular for this one.
He's listening closely. I promise you that.
Just waiting for the gotcha.
He bought out. He bought out at 25K or maybe less, 22K.
Oh, when the pick was worth 22K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We,
something like
that was the
He's so
Seahawks
mad.
week.
He's so mad we didn't go Seattle and lose like the other 60%
No, it was more
of the
than, I
pool.
think he got 22K for 7.5%. Like
Oh yeah,
maybe like 28 or
might have been 30.
something
Yeah,
like that.
You gave him
30K.
a discount, and
30K.
he wanted Seattle. We would have been gone.
we would have been gone. That would have been it. We overrode him.
If we just, is there like,
We overrode him, and now here we are, like 8 weeks later, and I'm arguing his side in the group chat every week.
is there a world where we don't hedge anything? We just go for the win?
Yeah. No.
No.
I'm not that
we
rich.
gotta take some.
Well, if I keep de-risking, I haven't yet, but if I start to de-risk, then yeah, I'd probably YOLO it at some point.
At some point, yeah.
I got a text from Team Lucky today. They want in.
They want a piece.
They're buyers.
They're buyers.
They're buyers.
Okay.
How much do they want?
Oh, I don't know. A little taste. Not for you. Fuck you.
What do you mean?
You don't get to just like scoop up all my exit liquidity. I have 60% of this. You have like 2.
No, I don't. I have 8.
I have like 2.
Okay, whatever. Keep
hey,
your fucking 8
hey,
and
man,
suck on it.
We would have been out if I didn't sell to Jesse. Jesse's a lucky guy.
Jesse is insufferable in this chat. I need him
love
removed.
Jesse.
I need him and Danielle out immediately.
No.
I don't think
They're
so.
too much.
I love them.
No, they're great.
Don't worry, they're going to be at the Magic Convention.
That's true.
With
they won't be
Efro.
paying attention this week.
Yeah.
2 of my favorite people. All right, let's get into a little bit of poker talk. So, big day today. Have you ever just like woken up to a windfall? Found money, if you will?
Rarely.
I've been
very,
asleep to
very
one.
rarely.
I've had dreams where I'm like loaded and have so much money, and then I wake up and I'm like, fuck.
Sadly,
Yeah,
that
that's a
doesn't
dream.
count. But have you
Hmm.
ever had like an investment just like go off in the middle
Yeah.
of the night? What's your biggest found money experience?
Found?
I had a big one about exactly 4 years ago
Okay.
where I had all the money on Joe Biden
Mm-hmm.
and got real drunk for the election.
Right, as one
And-
does.
And when all the, in-person votes came in before they counted any of the mail-in ballots, it just looked like Trump was going to run away with it. The markets were going crazy. The prediction markets were all trending towards Trump. Predictit was literally down, like the site had crashed. So you were just locked into your position. You couldn't do anything, which is a good thing because I ended up, falling asleep, and and then I woke up about 4 a.m. and my account was through the roof because all the mail-in ballots came back, and it looked, it was pretty clear that good old Biden was going to win.
Right.
So that was nice.
Yeah. So they rigged it in your favor.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
According to Trump.
Still protesting.
Do swaps
First
count?
thing he's gonna do if he gets into office is contest the 2020 election.
Probably.
Yes. Yeah. Any amount of just like found money, like you just had no expectation.
Swaps and peace buys count then, yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
I've done well with that, yeah. Sometimes I fell asleep and people have won tournaments.
I found 20
That's
bucks in
nice.
jeans before. Like you take them out of the wash, and you're like, oh, sweet.
You're gonna.
How
hate-
many? I was gonna say, how many flags,
hate
Berk,
me.
have you ever found? Is that the biggest one? You ever find a 25K laying around?
No, I never find chips. I never find chips, but I never keep money at the house ever. It's just like I have.
Why
no need.
would you?
Yeah. Why would I have no need to? I have
Right. Boxes and
Yeah, I have all kinds of shit. But at some point, somebody had handed me cash. I don't know if it was Landon or somebody else. And for whatever reason, I stuffed it in a drawer and just forgot about it. And went to like, I think it was like my snack drawer in my bedroom, which had been empty for like months. Usually I like load it with like beef jerky and shit. It had been empty for like months.
I remember this.
And I had a craving. And I just like went to check just to make sure that it was empty,
Found
and I just
something
found
better?
50,000.
50?
Just 5
I
bands.
thought you were gonna say 10.
No, just like
50?
Just like 5 bands
How
just
do you
sitting there.
just like
I think
misplace?
because I think what happened was it was given to me on a day that the cleaners were coming, and I wanted to just like put it out of sight just to not tempt them.
Yeah.
I trust them, but like I don't
Of
want to just
course.
like tempt them.
Yeah.
And I was gonna take it the next day to Bellagio. And I've just forgotten that I'd put it there.
Weren't you like, I'm just like 50,000 light here somewhere?
No, because like it was just like money that was owed to me.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
didn't register
Well,
Especially with like Landon, I have no idea. Like he just keeps a tab and then just like hands me cash every now and again.
Rob, you ever found $50,000 in your drawer laying around?
$20 in his jeans.
Can't say that I have. I've found $20, not 50 dimes.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to think of like other ones that were similar. I found like crypto.
Oh, like
After
a wallet
boom.
you didn't realize you had or something? That's nice. Those are always nice.
I had like a bunch of Ripple way back
when
in the
Ripple
day.
was worth something?
So like early, like 2015-ish,
Yeah.
something like that. I had a bunch of Ripple that I bought at like 40 cents. And I had just
Hold on to the
happened,
XRP, baby. It's coming back.
full circle. I just so happened to like be cleaning out my altcoins or whatever because I think like end of 2015, early 2016, like the cycle was, we were starting to get some understanding.
Yeah.
Like-
We're gonna get Ripple comments in our fucking
100%.
The Ripple community is gonna come down on us real
XRP is
hard.
fucking strong. But like whatever reason, I was just like cleaning out my alts because it was like clear that this wasn't just like a hold and gamble type situation. Like there wasn't going to be other Bitcoins type of thing. So I was just kind of getting rid of some stuff that I had. I think I had like Cardano and like some, you know, the early stuff.
Litecoin.
I still have Litecoin.
There
I
you
still
go.
have 100 Litecoins. I don't know what the fuck I'm holding them for.
What the hell is Litecoin worth these days?
It might be like
$12
$50.
or something? 50?
40 or 50, I think.
That's
it
not
peaked
bad.
at like 200 during COVID, which I should have really fucking punted it then. Anyway, so I find all this XRP.
$66, Berk.
There you go. There you go. I got $6,000.
Did you have no idea? No, well, you know, you do know about it, but
Yeah. Well, I just know it always
it's in there somewhere.
it's between. Oh no, it's in my Trezor.
Yeah.
But it's just I know it's always between like 50 and 100 bucks.
Right.
So I like wake up one day, I had bought like 10K of Ripple at like 40 cents, and I'm like cleaning out all my wallets and stuff because at that point I had everything on exchanges, and I used some down bad exchange back then. I can't even remember what it is now.
Was it Mount Gox?
No, not that's too early. But
yeah,
I've never been on Coinbase.
Celsius or something.
Nah, I don't remember. But I've never been on Coinbase. I was on. I got hooked up on what's the one the Von Trust twins or whatever.
Winklevoss?
Gemini.
Winklevoss?
Yeah, the Winklevoss.
Oh, Gemini. That's it.
Gemini. So I got hooked up on Gemini where I had no limit immediately. So like I could
Unlimited.
just like load up $1 million if I wanted to and buy whatever I wanted to buy.
They say how much money you got? Unlimited.
Unlimited.
So I kept like all my main coins there, but in the early days they didn't have altcoins. So I went to this other down bad exchange and I had all my alts on there. So I was like cleaning it out and I find all this fucking Ripple. And Ripple's like $2.25.
It's not Binance, is it?
Binance, yeah. No. I never use Binance.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it had like 6x'd off my 10K. So I just like wake up to $60,000 or $70,000. I'm just like, hell yeah, brother.
Oh my
Sell,
god.
sell.
Right.
That's sick.
Fucking dump it.
Good job.
It's nice when that happens because you're not like attached to it. And you're like, oh, this is way more than I thought it was going to be. And you don't have any attachment to keeping it.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah, no, it was so
Right.
easy to just make a good decision.
Yeah. Right. You're like,
I just
well,
asked around. I'm like, Dan, is Ripple gonna do anything? He's like, fuck no. I'm like, oh, okay, good. Punt.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah.
said something about poker.
Yeah. So speaking of windfalls, pads. It's a beautiful morning to have a beautiful morning if you're
It
Patrick
is.
Leonard.
Yeah.
He
He bought
just
a bunch of Ripple.
Leonard and Brewer.
he just woke up to 152,000 increased in his GG account out of the blue.
That's like 300,000 Ripple.
Yeah. Did a little bit of math, and he thinks that it came from the 25K WSOP bracelet event that he got fourth in. Was it fourth? Yeah, fourth place. He thinks that they just bumped everybody up a spot, which, by your point, very good day for Chris Brewer, as he now goes from the second place medalist to the winner, which looks like it's almost a 300K uptick,
Do you think
250K.
that they're going to give him the bracelet?
I don't know. I also don't think he cares.
I know I don't
He got
think he
handed
cares.
$250,000 this morning.
Yeah.
But I
couldn't
just
give a
mean, I
shit
guess,
less.
in the sense of the way that things would work. Like, if you caught somebody cheating, they definitely don't get to keep the win when you take the money away. So he probably does get the bracelet.
Yeah, maybe. Not really sure. Also, don't think it really matters. I'm kind of curious as to whether or not they were able to confiscate the funds in time. So
Seems to be that way.
So Pads basically said, massive props to Gigi for doing this refund. He said the biggest one that he thinks he's had prior to this in his entire career was like $2K. And it looks like they refunded roughly $1.1 million to everybody, bumping them up one position in that tournament.
That's what first place was worth?
Yeah, 1.1122.
Right. So if that's the case, then that's probably what happened.
Yeah. MTT Database also put out a tweet, said apparently GG banned the winner of the 25K GG Million Super High Roller Championship, and everybody laddered a full pay jump. Don't know the reason, never heard the name before, so my guess would be multi-accounting. Is this the largest single ban and refund in history of online poker? Probably. Stars was notorious for doing this in like the mid 2010s, especially when they were cracking down on VPNs.
Just the Gordon Veo stuff?
Gordon Veo had 700K seized from him. And Stars was really diligent about it. Like, I don't think Gordon ever got that money off. He ended up taking them to court, and I think he lost. Ironically, when there was a change of power at Stars, I think they went back. And for anybody that was like, just kind of like, presenting them, like the documents that they were looking for, even if they were forged or whatever, basically keeping the process open without publicly outing them. I think Stars ended up making good on all the VPNers, because even though it was a breach of terms of service, it wasn't like cheating in any sort of capacity. They were using their own screen names and shit like that. They weren't multi-accounting. Now, I remember Hastings went through something different where he was actually buying or using other people's accounts to play these fish in like high stakes mixed games. And I think he had money seized, but I'm not positive. But yeah, I think Veo was the largest prior to this. So yeah, I mean, at this point, it's 1.1 million. That looks like it was seized. Good on GG for doing it. Obviously, they're not going to talk about why they chose to do it or like what he was being banned over, but that's a lot of found money, man.
He's doing some shady shit.
Yeah. Oh, what I was going to say, though, is I wonder if they were able to actually see. So Stars was really good about this. You had a big score and they locked your funds immediately.
Yes.
Didn't matter who you were.
That's right.
They were just locked.
Mm-hmm.
No getting them off.
Until they verified that you were good?
KYC immediately. Every single time. You win the Sunday Million for 100 and some thousand, KYC. Like, none of that money's moving. Maybe small amounts, like they might let P2P transfers go through or whatever, but like you really couldn't get it off. My understanding of GG is that it's probably a little bit easier to get it off because it's still kind of... Is it still the agent-based type of dynamic, like loading and unloading accounts?
I think you can just use crypto.
No, of course you can. There's always going to be a front door, but I'm saying like on the back end, I think that you could still just like send money to your agent and they'll load your account for you and shit like that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Assuming that is still the case, I imagine money moves without the KYC a little bit easier. So I don't know. This might be coming out of pocket, which they definitely didn't have to do that.
Wow.
There wasn't a lot of scrutiny around this particular event.
Yeah, there might be a situation where he's able to get the 1.1 off and then they find out.
Right.
And then they ban.
Right.
And then they pay.
Right.
That would be
great PR, but very expensive.
That would be very expensive.
Either way.
When did this event take place?
A
couple months
June
ago?
Or July, maybe?
A little later.
Maybe later. Let's see.
A couple months ago.
And Paz just got his refund yesterday?
Oh, yeah. September 26th.
Yeah. So like
not that long ago.
No.
3 weeks ago.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's a quick turnaround.
That makes me more confident they were able to seize the money.
Right. Yeah.
3 week turnaround time to figure out a guy who's cheating. Like,
yeah, you probably are not able to withdraw that much money without something going on first.
Right.
Imagine just trying to like rip off 1.1 from the site. You're probably gonna be like,
it's kind of crazy because
well, hold on a second. We can't gloss over that. Why would it, if it's your money, why can't you just take that money out?
Well, it depends how you got that money on first and foremost, right? If there's zero KYC, at some point they're going to KYC you, whether it's when you deposit or withdraw. So let's say that he put like 50K on via Bitcoin through an agent. He's just a ghost at that point. If he wins 1.1 million, he wants to withdraw. Now he's going to have to face a KYC. Right? Like there's a lot of instances like this where they don't care that much about your identity when you put money on, but when you try to withdraw, they're really, really, really diligent. Poly something? Was that the name of the exchange?
No.
I don't know. I was just thinking about it because it triggered in my mind. I remember putting money on, not that big of a deal, but when I wanted to take it off, I had to take a picture of myself holding a sign with like today's date.
That was very Binance-like.
Yeah.
A lot of exchanges would do that because you have to.
They give you like a little code to write. Like
you get to do it for Coinbase.
Yeah, you have to do it for a lot of stuff like
Yeah.
that, just so it proves that it's you.
Mm-hmm.
But man, because I know for WSOP when you withdraw, they give you the money back in the way that you put it on the site.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right,
like if you deposit with PayPal and then withdraw, they give you PayPal first.
Yeah, and even that will pend for quite some time.
Yeah,
maybe 5 days. It'll be out of your account, but be pending.
Yeah.
So imagine a 6 or 7 figure score.
Right. And they also have no peer-to-peer, so it's not like you can really move it otherwise. But and they pretty heavily police chip dumping, I think. But yeah, I don't know.
So maybe they had suspicion of this person
Right.
to start with.
Right.
They win. Funds seized immediately.
Make it good
Do an
after the fact.
investigation. Investigation comes back as somebody doing something nefarious.
I think that them paying
Disperse the funds.
they
Back to
paying
the
them
winners.
them paying the money back and like saying we caught somebody doing this is like so much better than letting it sweep, because if you get caught cheating, there is now a chance that you do not get your money anymore.
Right.
Rather than the site keeping it to themselves in private of
Yeah.
saying, oh, something happened, we're not going to tell you what happened, or not paying the money back, but then they ban them on their own end.
Right.
Like it's better publicly to say, hey, this guy
Agreed.
was cheating. We caught them cheating. If we catch you cheating, we're taking your money, locking your account, and then giving it to other people. Versus
Yeah.
like the fear of, oh, I'm getting cheated on the site. Versus
Yeah.
if you're getting cheated,
No,
you're
yeah,
getting your money back.
Yeah, your points are all very valid, and I think this is why Stars had such a loyalty for so long.
It's like the opposite of what people think you should do when it comes to cheating. Where people think if it's
Right.
cheating, don't talk about it, just ban them and move on.
Right. Yeah. This public statement is worth a lot.
Yeah.
Even though it's indirect, like they didn't actually come out and say anything, and they haven't confirmed that it's via this tournament. But they let the community do their bidding for them, kind of, right? Like
There are signs.
yeah, it's like, okay, well, this is a very high profile tournament.
Right.
The 5 people that we're refunding the most money to are going to be Patrick, Bryn Kenny, Brewer. These guys are going to make a public statement about it.
Yeah.
All of this is great PR. It shows that they're on top of things. Like, yeah, I think
And
your
the money
point is very valid.
happens to be the latter amounts for them.
Yes.
where else could
Yeah, right.
Where else could the money have come from? And they made statements about getting not extra money, but cheat money. So yeah, good things all around. I think this is a good way to go about it.
Yeah,
And
it's
everyone's a
definitely-
little bit richer for it.
Right. $150,000 windfall is nice.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Year of Brewer.
$250 for Brewer.
$250. $4 million.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one other thing I was going to say about that. This is when Guapo said, let's not just gloss over that, but I don't remember now.
About Guapo was talking about how getting the money off, like that they freeze your money. Yeah.
Was that what I was going to say? It doesn't matter.
It's money.
I mean, it just basically all comes back to KYC, but yeah. I would be curious to know, like, what, like where the money came from. Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Just keep talking, you'll find it.
No, this is like
Get
a
there.
bit adjacent, but a really another aspect of this that's like really, really, really positive for GG is how quickly they're able to do this and turn around a 7-figure refund when the quote unquote $10 million bot farm on ACR
Right.
basically got swept under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
To our knowledge, nobody got more than like a few hundred bucks, maybe 1,000 here or there.
Not to defend ACR, but like that's a much more complicated situation than maybe what this was, right? Because this is one person with a lump sum of money that's just being put into their account. You can see this person has suspicion of cheating, lock the account as soon as he wins or her wins, and then do your investigation and then get disperse it. Like, so that we don't really know how. Like, this could have been so simple for GG. Maybe they had just overwhelming evidence that this person was cheating, and they were just like, okay, this is just, open and shut case. Boom, boom. Let's give the money back. we don't have to do this long investigation.
That part's true.
Where like the other situation
Might
just
be
could
three-figure
It could be.
accounts.
I mean, there could
The
be
issue-
a million different. you know.
But the issue is that they did issue refunds,
Right. No.
but
I mean,
they were so small.
And it didn't
ACR
equate.
did.
Yeah.
Right.
It
But
doesn't
the-
equate to the
Right,
number.
they were just like so small, and it seems like you would be able to target the biggest,
Right.
the people who were affected the largest first.
People weren't being like made whole the way they should.
It doesn't seem that way.
Right, yeah.
And again, like, we're still waiting with
or
bated
anywhere
breath.
close.
Right. We're still waiting with bated breath, but we're coming up on a year anniversary here in December
Right.
of this being a thing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Has it really been that fast already?
Yeah.
Of make a bot and we'll give you money?
I think so.
Wow.
I could be wrong though. Maybe it was like March this year.
I was gonna say
You might be right. You might be. It's tough to keep up with the ACR shit, man.
The timeline, it moves very fast.
Time
Yeah.
flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it really does.
Having fun getting cheated online.
You like playing poker, don't you?
It is much harder. Like
Never
Brian's
gets
right.
old.
It's much harder. You don't know how many accounts are involved with the bot stuff. You don't know how
Right.
much different accounts are getting refunded. Where maybe
Yeah.
there's 30,000
We're
accounts.
trying to figure out who's owed what. Like that would be complicated as well.
Maybe just you could just do it based off percentage and rake and how much money that the accounts that you found or generated. But
Yeah.
then again, some other things slip through the cracks, I'm
Yeah.
sure, and there's a lot going on there. But when one person cheats and wins 1.1,
Right. And you
probably
just bump everybody up. That's easy.
It's easier to
Not
catch
taking
that
anything
one.
away from them. That's amazing that they did that. Great.
Talking about other sites that are doing well by the public that are seemingly giving away money. BetRivers launched this past week, as we mentioned last week. Phil is currently in PA doing some live streaming. Hopefully he went to Pittsburgh, not Philly.
Right.
Maybe check out the local Rivers Casino. Catch a Steeler game while you're there.
Yeah.
Phil. Why the fuck not? But the big thing is, so he put out a very long blog post, and it's broken down into topics. Run, rush, rivers, revenue, reimagine, rake, rewards, revolution, rollout.
All right.
Wow.
A lot of R's there.
A lot of
Lots
R's.
of
But it basically follows the timeline of how they came to be BetRivers. Effectively, he started Run It Once Poker, then sold to Rush Gaming, which relaunched as BetRivers. It's a publicly traded company, so they are obviously for profit. And part of the thing that he wanted to highlight that makes them unique is that there's a big cross promotion between casino and sports players, which is highly beneficial to the poker ecosystem. And they kind of have no choice, right? Like, this is a big aspect of what BetRivers is. It's a larger casino entity, not just a poker platform. The big thing I wanted to highlight, though, that everybody's been kind of a buzz about is the way that they're approaching Rake. And in the blog, he says, Tommy Angelo cleverly describes the game of poker as zero sum minus sum, which basically implies that, the house has to take their fee. And Phil just kind of goes on to talk about how when he wanted to launch Run It Once Poker, it was a player-friendly first type of initiative. And Rake was a big aspect of it. He said members of the poker community have expressed their unhappiness with Rake. They've staged boycotts, they've complained and criticized, but they haven't made much of a difference in the long run. Players want lower Rake, more rewards, or both, and I want that too. He goes on to say that I could have argued that by significantly cutting the Rake would attract more interest from the community, boost players' liquidity, and lower acquisition costs, ultimately bringing in more players to explore our and other products. The problem with that argument is that the poker playing community hasn't consistently voted with their wallets for platforms with the lowest rake. Of course, I knew players would like it, but I had no idea if it would help us catch other poker platforms with a big head start. Simply competing on price isn't exactly groundbreaking, and at least so far, it hasn't worked in online poker. So that's kind of the problem that most sites, and more importantly, the community at large faces, is that his point's very valid. People aren't shopping for Rake. It's similar to like the way gas prices are set for corner markets or corner gas stations. Like, sure, you'll see a discrepancy between the left and the right side of the highway, but nobody cares. Nobody's shopping around really for the extra 3 cents per gallon that equals dollars per fill up and hundreds of dollars per year. unless you're Tammy and Leon, the ultimate coupon cutter. Shout out to Tammy and Leon, my
I'm
pickleball friends.
Shout out to them.
But that analogy carries forward into how online poker is raked. And live, I think, because it's so slow, we're just not very rake sensitive. You know, you don't really feel it throughout the course of a session,
Right.
or even really a month. You are getting comped a few bucks an hour here and there. It's like maybe over the course of the year you start to feel it.
You don't really like look on a graph and see it either.
Also true.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like the level of volume that you play is so low that rake doesn't feel nearly as impactful as it does whenever you're playing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of hands. And in the live venue, it's pretty heavily split between time and rake. So when you're paying time, now effectively you kind of are playing a rake-free game. You're just paying a little bit of rent to do so, right? And that's way less impactful to your bottom line. It's certainly less impactful to strategy. So it looks like they got a little bit creative, and the way that they're approaching it is less rake, more rewards, which he says is, you know, kind of similar. As a rake-aware poker player, we learn to think in terms of net rake, the amount of rake we pay after deducting our rewards. In other words, zero sum minus sum plus a little. However, one of the benefits of giving more rewards rather than simply cutting rake is that you use those rewards to shape player behavior. Want to build up your tournament fields? Give out more tickets. Want more volume per player? Create leaderboard incentives. We approached our reward decision from a first principle perspective. We want to give players as much back as possible, and we have a clear business objective. I'll quote myself from above. At a large multi-vertical gaming company, the primary purpose of poker is to not generate poker revenue. It's to acquire and retain players for the other, more lucrative verticals. In a matter of seconds, the solution here became clear. If our purpose is to introduce players to other verticals, let's do it really, really well. And if our purpose isn't to generate poker revenue, let's just not. And I think that this is genius. You know, you can go on to read the rest of the article, and I will attempt to give any specifics that he kind of covers. But what seems to be clear is that their philosophy is to run at like either a net zero or a net loss, and use poker as the true loss leader that it used to be for casino gambling. It seems as though they recognize that sports betting and casino games have much higher ceilings, and they want to usher people into those verticals by giving them a cheap or free alternative to play poker and gamble there. And it sounds like they're being very smart about it, because I think Phil does a great job of articulating this, but just lowering rake is really only a reason to get somebody in the door, right? Like, oh, I'll deposit to your site instead of that site because the rake is lower. But it comes with a magnitude of other considerations, right? When I'm depositing to a site, let's say I'm an MTT player, do I want to play somebody that charges $5 on a $100 buy-in or $9 on a $100 buy-in? Well, of course, $5. But I'll pay the extra $4 if the field size is going to be 20x.
Yeah. Huge
right?
guarantees.
Yeah, if I get huge guarantees, I get large prize pools, I get to fight for a big sum, then I don't mind paying a little bit additional rake in that instance. So it's really not as simple as just lowering rake, as Phil kind of points out. But when you make it a loyalty-based thing, when you say playing on our site not only comes with lower rake, but we reinvest that rake all the way back into you, the game starter, the loyal reg, the person who's out here ensuring that we're hitting guarantees and stuff like that. Now, all of a sudden, you're training your player pool to be loyal.
Yeah.
And your retention rate goes through the roof. So I think, to his point, most people have treated this separately as either using rake as an acquisition model or as a retention model, right? When it's an acquisition model, you give them a discount. You give them a lot of deposit bonuses. You give them things that give them a lot of liquidity early on in their journey, and then you lose them down the line as customers, unless there's something really valuable there to hold them, right?
It feels like how credit cards work.
Yeah.
Like they give you all this stuff at the beginning,
Right.
and then like
Right, because
And then
they don't need retention.
Right. After like the year's up and you don't get the extra percentage, you go into the next one.
Yeah, or you don't because it's
Right.
a hassle and you
Exactly.
still have the service
Right.
available to you.
That is
right.
true too, right.
That's the thing is like credit cards have natural retention because the service is the service.
Right.
Right. And it's like car insurance. You're just shopping around for the best price and then you're going to retain because you have to have it.
Right.
This is very different though. Right. So if you go the retention model, then you see things like the reward system at like WSOP where it's really loyal to the regs. Really high rake back, a lot of like tournament tickets that are ushered out, a lot of free rolls that are given to people who log so many hours or so many raked hands or whatever the case may be. And you're less about acquisition at that point. That's great too, but you keep your pool small. So you keep it consistent, but you keep it small. It sounds like their idea of blending these two together as a new site, as a startup that will pique people's interest because Phil's behind it, Phil's promoting it, and they're doing things in both lanes of both acquisition and retention to make it appealing to both the new user and the longtime regular of other sites. It sounds like they're giving themselves a fighting chance. And if they maintain that their goal is not to make any money in poker, then they'll have additional liquidity to keep lubricating both of these paths.
How do they make money?
Through casino. Remember, it's just BetRivers. At the end of the day, it's just BetRivers. This is just an arm of it, right? So they make money by now utilizing that through their funnel. Now poker becomes an acquisition model for sports betting, for casino gaming, right?
So they kind of use it as loss leader.
Yeah, loss leader.
But
Yep.
are they
A funneling system.
But are they losing?
Yeah.
You know, they might be netting zero instead of or making something small.
The way he's describing it is that they're trying to net zero or lose. So if say they start acquiring so many consumers that they start running at a net positive, maybe they reinvest that money too. We don't know, right? But the point is like he seems to be pretty clear that they're not intending on creating a business model that will profit.
Like in casinos, poker was kind of used as a loss leader for slot machines, right?
Yeah, just get people in the door. They're going to gamble on the floor after they're done playing poker. They're going to go to the restaurants. They're going to go to the shops. Yeah.
So this is what Phil is trying to do with online poker.
Yes.
Effectively.
So in the rollout, to make it a little bit more clear, he says, shortly after we launched, BetRiversPoker will go from having one of the lowest rakes in Pennsylvania to something much more radical. We plan to keep none of it, giving our share of the rake away in rakeback, rewards, incentives, free rolls, and more. We aim to disrupt the way online poker is run in PA, and if successful, many more regulated jurisdictions. So by that statement, they can't be positive.
Right.
Because rake is the only revenue source, right? So if they're giving it all away through these acquisition models and these retention models, then they can never run at a surplus.
That seems. I hope it works.
It sounds great, right? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
And honestly, like here's the risk that they face, which I don't think Phil would care that much, but maybe BetRivers would care. The risk they face is that they upset the current model. And they become so innovative that they become the new norm. The issue is that that's really only beneficial long run to the poker playing community as a whole. Because at the end of the day, BetRivers is still much smaller than WSOP, than Stars, than BetMGM, et cetera, et cetera. So if they force their hand to adopt and adapt very quickly a similar model, unfortunately, they don't get to reap all of the benefits of being so innovative.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
it's not like they can trademark this and it's just theirs. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and usually with innovation like this, being first to market comes with a massive upside. The issue here is that
it's too easily
only
copied.
Well, yeah, you're only first to market with a strategy. You're actually last to market with the product, right? So the new innovative strategy has a high upside and could potentially work. And I'm not even saying like they're going to take a bath over it. I'm just saying that if it does disrupt the industry and everybody else starts to copy it, then they still fall back in line to being like maybe the fourth biggest site or whatever. Not to say it won't be successful, because at the end of the day, if they have more people gambling at BetRivers than they did prior to launching poker, that's a huge fucking win.
For sure.
It would be really good for poker players to try to have a job.
It would be the best thing that ever happened to the poker community.
Yeah.
Because like now they're
Well, like the rake back and stuff from old.
Well, just imagine that you're
return.
now playing regulated poker if you're in one of these states for free. Like nobody's paying rake across the board in regulated markets.
That'd be pretty sick.
That would be pretty sick.
Rake used to be and still like is the dream killer in a lot of ways, especially for smaller stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how this affects their overhead with things like security, right? Because there's a cost to that. And the thing is, it's not fixed. So like what they may be budgeting right now for security could very well be adequate. But like, let's say you have to increase that budget by like 10x and you're not taking any rake to facilitate that or to ease the blow. You know what I mean? Like,
where's that money coming
there has to be a tipping point somewhere, right? So maybe like when all the dust settles, maybe it's like you give away 90% of the rake, or you keep some sort of buffer for yourself in case something catastrophic were to happen.
Yeah, it feels
catastrophe
like
insurance.
There you go. Yeah.
The issue and that players or pro players have with some of the bigger sites like WSOP, GG is stuff like admin fees, where they're kind of nickel and diming more money from the people that they've already retained.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to find a way to add more people and remove these costs that seem like they're more greed driven and we can do this because we can, versus having an actual point to it.
Yeah.
Like admin fees or player fees or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But with this situation, maybe things will change now that GG and WSOP are like GG's connected to a land-based casino and events like WSOP and things along these lines. But the WSOP numbers keep getting bigger year over year. So it's hard for them to fix what isn't broken.
Well, I wouldn't say it's not broken, but
you know what I'm getting
your point's valid. WSOP doesn't have a casino attached, or at least they don't in Nevada. Maybe they do in PA and Michigan. I don't remember.
WSOP is not Caesar?
I mean, they're owned by Caesars, but in Nevada, there's no sports betting or casino attached.
Oh, sure.
There may be, though, in PA and I doubt there is in New Jersey, right?
I don't think there is for the WSOP one.
I don't think so either.
There is for the other ones, obviously.
Right.
Like Caesars has a sports book.
Yeah.
But it's not accessible through the site, through the poker.
Yeah, it's separate, right? You have Caesars, like you have the Caesars app, right?
And the
sportsbook app
stuff.
that's you can have in Pennsylvania or whatever, but then they have their WSOP site different.
Yeah.
Why do they not allow you to like sports bet and stuff through WSOP? Seems like they're losing some money there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It does seem like it would be sharp to merge the two.
Sometimes people don't want to play poker anymore. Just put the whole roll on the Chargers.
Wild Wild West. That shit used to happen. Speaking of windfalls, here's a good one. 2016, the year after. No, not 2016.
2006.
Sorry, 2006.
Yes.
The year after the Steelers won the Super Bowl. So maybe it was 2007. They won in 2006. 2007, Mansion Poker, an English site, I believe, ran a promo where you could bet the opening day game, which was the Steelers, former Super Bowl winner, versus the Dolphins. And it was a free roll. So you bet $1,000, I think, on the Steelers.
You could bet up to 1,000.
Yeah, up to 1,000 on the Steelers. And if you lost, you got your money back. So I found everybody in my network and gave them $1,000 to put on the Steelers. The Steelers obviously won. So I ended up having like 20K. I just wake up the next day with 20K on my mansion account, right? So I gave everybody like a small amount or whatever. So now I have 20K. This was just a windfall. This wasn't like I fell into it. And they had 200, 400 that like never ran, but one guy always just sat. He just always sat there.
200, 400?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't know if I ever told you guys the truth of what happened.
You're too embarrassed.
Yeah, I feel like I told you the truth
like
at some point.
100 or something.
No, because I full doubled. And it wasn't for 100 big blinds. I don't know if I ever told them the truth or not, but I took a screenshot of the chat afterwards. So on Mansion, in the hand histories, you couldn't see the cards. They didn't show them They didn't show them to you, right? So I have this now free 20K, and they had a sports book. Oh, another thing that I did on there. This is a lead up to it. I was buried playing like on Full Tilt or something like that. So in typical Conrad fashion, at like 5 a.m., I put together a 5-team parlay, and I bet like 5,000 to win like 20K or something like that, or 25K
It's
or
free
something
money.
like that. Smashed it.
A free 4x.
I'll never forget. I smashed it. The only game I had to sweat. This was like 2006. The only game I had to sweat was like the Chiefs Bills, and the Chiefs found a way to like pull it out last. I didn't have a fucking clue, but I was basically like a monkey clicking buttons.
Yeah, for sure.
Smash it for 25K. Didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was so happy. Got me. I literally bet an amount that would get me even for what I was buried. It was so
How
good.
is this
Oh, I
rewarded?
chased losses, brother. You have no idea. I would start at 1-2 and end up at fucking 25-50 by the
How
end of
did
the
you?
night.
That's what I'm saying. Is how did you make it out of the survivor pool? You know, like how did poker choose you?
I'm tenacious as a motherfucker.
Nah, you gave yourself all the chances in the world to go broke time and time again.
When you got it, you got it. You
Gotta
know?
have that grit.
You got to have that grit. Same reason why we're going to win the Survivor, you know? You just take negative pick versus negative pick versus and you pile them all on top of one another and you come out richer than ever.
Yeah, this is why you can't get mad at me for stealing your exit liquidity, because you don't exit.
that part's I'm older and wiser now. You're young. You should be fucking gambling.
I am gambling. I'm free rolling it. Thank you, Jesse.
So I was stuck as usual on the normal sites, and this kid or I assume it was a kid, was sitting 200, 400 with 40K in front of him, and I have 20K in my account. So I sit, and I get ace 10 of spades the first hand. He opens, and I 3-bet, and he jams, and I snap.
Jams?
Yeah.
It's 50 bigs.
It's only
What are you
50
gonna do?
bigs.
That's
yeah.
right. It wasn't.
And I snap. Well, I didn't snap. I was sick. I was like, oh. But like, even then, even in 2007, there was no part of me that didn't understand.
You were never gonna fold.
Yeah, there was no part of me that didn't understand like how good of a hand ace 10 suited is in a heads up scenario.
Right.
You have 50 big blinds versus one person, and I got an ace and a 10.
Exactly.
What do you got?
So it comes ace high 2 spades, and I river the flush, and I just scoop the pot and leave. I don't even play my fucking button.
You have no idea what he has.
No idea. Can't see it showdown. Doesn't table the cards
I can't
when you're all
believe
in
you
and
weren't
called.
like, I'm gonna run this up to 100K.
Didn't even cross my mind.
Smart man.
It only showed the winner,
Yeah.
so you never. Wow.
So I take a screen cap of
If people were people were.
probably yeah.
Right. I'm
So
just-
I take a screen cap of the pot size, right? And I send it to Greg and Lamanna and everybody else. And they tell me I'm lying, and
Yeah, we thought you like photoshopped
it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just played. I played it up, and I was like, "Yeah, I did. You're right." For years, I was so embarrassed. It was like
Right.
2012 before when I finally had real money.
Because we
I
were
was
all
like, "Hey guys, remember that mansion poker
yeah.
thing?"
We were all like very strict. You gotta have this bankroll management. You can't risk too much if you're gonna be a professional poker player. You
Greg
can't do
literally
it.
bonus hoard
Right.
for his first 100,000.
He did really well at doing it.
Yeah, he would just bonus hoard. Like he would sign people up to all of these fucking sites. I mean, there was you don't even understand, man. There was like 100
He had this
poker
thing where you
sites
could,
back then.
I forget exactly how it worked, but like the more you sign up, the more rake back you'd
Yeah.
get or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he would just grind 1-2.
Right.
And he would just make so much rake back.
Yeah.
So much
Joey,
rake
Joey
back.
Kanish Aversa.
Oh, he was the leather ass of leather asses.
But it wasn't that
R.I.P.
he was like tight. It was just
Oh, he was also tight.
maybe, but I don't know. I think he just like found a system. It
Found
worked
free money.
and
Yeah.
exploited it to the fullest.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
it reminds you of what I did in college when it was on Bovada Ignition. Shout out, even though they stole me money. I would give people, like friends of mine, money to make an account. If you gave them $25, you get $100 in bonus, but you'd have to play through the casino. So I'd sign people up. I'd have my friends sign up. It wasn't cheating at all. Gave them $25. I would get 100, grind blackjack until I was able to cash it out. And I made like 4K doing this as like a college kid that like didn't have a job. And I was just like, oh.
Meanwhile, I'm fucking sacrificing my body. I've told this story before. I don't know if you guys can see these 2 scars right here, but they're on both of my arms, right here, and then additionally on this side.
You did actually put skin in the game.
I literally put my fucking skin in the game.
Skin in the game.
4 skin biopsies.
Not your foreskin.
No, that might have been worth a little bit more.
4 skin biopsies.
4 skin biopsies for $500
Each?
No, total.
Yeah.
And then they gave me I was gonna say they gave me a shot, but that was just numbing.
They gave him steroids, and now he's jacked.
They re-biopsied them a week later, and if you were willing to do that, you got $1,600 total. So I did that, obviously. So I started with like a $1,600 bankroll.
Just to make a 5-teamer.
No. I took to Salamanca and I fucking spun. I turned that probably into like 20K without looking back. And then, I ran it down.
Of course, yeah.
Up and ran down.
It's like, well, Berkey is crushing all these 20K windfalls. It's like, no, like he got the 20K and then it went to zero, and then he got back to 20K and it went to zero again.
Sometimes the wind, just as much as the wind falls up, it falls down.
Yes.
Very
windy out there.
I honest to God don't know that I ever went zero, but like my progression was literally like $1,500.
Never zero, right?
It was like 1,500 to 20K, down to like 5K, up to 25K, down to like 8K, up to 30K, down to like 10K, up to 40K.
You always had at least like 1 month of like rent and like 1 month of rent, food, and like utilities and stuff, and then like one buy-in.
One bullet, yeah.
One bullet, and you take that bullet and spin it right back.
The amount of time we would like go on these trips, and I was a live for the moment kind of guy, Landon. Like I didn't know when this was all going to come crashing down.
Still don't.
We'd go to Buffalo, New York. 90 minutes away. It's a long drive. We're staying in a hotel. A nice juicy 1020 pops up, and I have 8,000 on me, and that's all I have to my name. And I'm sitting with it.
Yeah.
And I'm up 10K. And Aversa would come behind me and he'd go, "Hey, don't you think it's time to leave?" Yeah. And I look at him and I go, "Are you fucking crazy? Look at these guys. I'm going to take every chip on this goddamn table." Sometimes I did.
Sometimes you did.
Sometimes they got me.
Yeah.
Sometimes you didn't.
I didn't fully embrace variance back then. Or let me rephrase. I didn't fully understand it. I definitely embraced it.
Well, I mean, you just assumed that if you sat there, you were going to win.
I thought I was
all
immune
of the time.
I literally thought I was immune to variance.
Yes.
Like, oh, you're gonna cool me off? I'll just fold. Fuck you.
Yeah, man. Poker's come a long way. Like you playing tournaments on Sunday, and I'm telling you about like this sweat that I have, and I'm like, oh, there's 24 left, and like I gotta get chosen, man. If they don't pick me, it's all downhill, and then they normally don't choose you.
No, but man, back then we didn't know that.
Yeah. We
just thought like I'm just gonna keep fucking clicking.
It's almost how could they not pick you with the skill disparity and
best one left with 24 left. Let's fucking go, baby.
And things like that, but that's just not how it works, and it's really nuts when you take a step back and
it's true.
You realize what's going on here.
Let's get out of here on a bit of a lighter note. Chance tweeted, "I want thread ideas. What do you want to learn about?" And he might have got the most goated response that I could think of. Caitlin replies, "How to get elite poker dick." To which Jaffe replies, "Which level of elite are we talking? David Coleman dick? Or are you looking for that Martirosian cock?" And she says, "Put it this way. I want dick so elite, he doesn't sell action."
Oh my God. She's unbelievable.
I mean, this is just like the content that I'm fucking here for. Yeah. I know this wasn't what Chance was hoping for when he put this thread out, but God damn it, this is what he deserves.
I mean, when you go engagement farming, sometimes you grow some eggplants.
So I know I said we're getting out here on a light note. We are, because like Caitlin's the fucking best. She's hilarious. That response is everything I could ever ask for and more. I'm curious of your guys' take though, like on the blatant engagement farming, and I guess like from the perspective of both your own eyeballs and then the rest of the community, like how do you feel about it? And then like, how do you feel everybody else feels about it?
About engagement farming? I mean, the people that are miserable and sad don't like it. And the people that understand that Twitter is just the game don't care.
Exactly. It's so obvious. Like what when it's happening to a lot of people, they see this and like, okay, this is obviously engagement farming. And then they go, right? Like, and they engage, and it just works. It works. And that's why people continue to do it. And even though it is so blatantly obvious, and like Landon said, it is a game and you're trying to get the high score, so you need as much engagement as you can.
It's interesting because some things are more or less of a conversation than others when it comes to it. Like in my example, the last time I posted about if you're young and you're trying to find out how to start and what to do to make poker work, how would you go about doing that? And I saw that personally as like an interesting conversation piece, less so an engagement farms tweet.
Right. Well, that's what
sometimes it can be both.
That's what more of what I was asking though. Like that was a genuine question, and it led to engagement, which led to a conversation, which is great.
And you can understand that it could be both, right? Like sometimes you're just like, okay, this is probably gonna get a lot of engagement, but it's also gonna be a really good conversation.
I'm more specifically asking about the contrived engagement farming.
I should have asked for some main swaps with a nude attached,
right?
And then
right, because like, look, engagement farming is born out of
engagement farming.
Right. Engagement farming is born out of sincerity. Like at one point, there was, people were just testing what worked, and they would ask sincere questions and they would get sincere results, and that led to engagement. And then they tried to figure out how they could gamify this.
Right.
And they used ChatGPT and everything blew up. The reason I ask is because I feel like this cycle is coming to a close. It's got to be close, if not totally overdone. There isn't a single industry that I see where it's not just like the absolute bottom of the barrel that's choosing to engage in this stuff. Every day on my For You, there's a thread of some sort that says, all right, ladies, do your thing with like 2 cherries. And then it's just 1,000 replies from OnlyFans girls, right? Or like big booty thread, and like a fat ass, and then just like 1,000 replies.
The X algo for sure. I'm only on following, man. I can't look at the For You. That's a dumpster fire.
Of course. And it's not just that. It's literally everything. It could be like
crypto's a big one.
It could be something as innocuous as like lately I've been getting this weird, I don't even know if it's the same account. I don't think that it is, but it's just like one scenic place across the United States. Every day I see it in my For You.
Are you sure?
So it'll be like Grand Canyon, Arizona. And then it'll be like Park City, Utah. Lake Tahoe, Nevada. You know what I mean? It just shows up every single day, and it's
I've been getting
thread.
one that's like, and I don't know how this worked its way into my algorithm, but it's like plane crashes.
Right.
Yeah, you get those too. It's like,
there's like violence.
Violence is huge.
All these top 10 or like, most.
So that's what I'm getting at. Is like the engagement farming has now evolved out of the. If you were interested in a new career choice, what would it be? Right. And I guess that's why I'm posing this question is like, as this cycle comes to a close, which God damn it, I hope it's coming to a close. Is it kind of a byproduct of the audience just being turned off and a little bit more educated to the tactics? Or is it that the tactics got so stale that they're just evolving now into something a little bit more advanced, like imagery or videos?
Yeah, maybe.
It just...
You're a Zoomer. What do you think?
Well, I just think it's just doing whatever works to get eyeballs on the page, because regardless of what you guys say as older, wiser, potentially individuals, some people look at that stuff and cannot look away, when it comes to like the grotesque and graphic and
there's
violence.
There's always going to be a form of this. You used to call it clickbait, right? It was clickbait where you would just like be on a certain site and like a stupid like article would come up and make you want to click on it.
It used to be like chain mail.
Yeah.
With all of that stuff though, to me, the CTA was very clear, right? Like
it was like, if you don't like share this on your
it was always very clear.
Well, it's going to advance, right?
I guess like it was always just very clear that like you were being sold something, and if you wanted to buy, it was always very readily available. It feels differently now. Now it feels like personal brands are utilizing
because that's what social media is.
Well,
right. Like,
remember
the Bill what's his face account where it was like retweet this and I'll give away $10,000.
Bill Pulte.
Bill Pulte, yeah. Like that just became his brand.
Right.
And it was the only thing that he was known for. So he developed this wild following of, millions of people that would engage with him anytime that he tweeted.
Game is game.
Is it though? Because I never saw him convert it to anything. What was the conversion?
I don't know.
What did he ever sell? When did he actually put out a tweet of substance? You know what I mean? Like all I saw was a Twitter account that farmed a bunch of followers and then never leveraged them.
Could have sold the account.
Yeah, maybe it's a crypto account. Right?
Now it's now he has like 1.1k following, 3.1 million followers. He's taking pictures
website
with,
or something on there?
with Trump. He does have a website like pulte.org.
Okay.
And
so maybe it's like a newsletter or something.
It is. There's something about like homes and stuff. I mean, he's got like
sure he leveraged it into something. Yeah.
He's got like property and stuff like everywhere. Like there's stuff that's close to where we're at with like Pulte stuff and the signs and whatever.
Yeah.
But he probably had that prior to that, maybe it was just for social media and engagement and farming. And then once you have the followers, you can use that to monetize and leverage elsewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be public through your Twitter, but like privately through different emails and stuff like that. Who knows? Kind of who cares-ish. But I think that like when it comes to that stuff, game is definitely game, you know? And that's what you see with the like OnlyFans AI bots now, you know?
Yeah, but like that's different. They're not alienating anybody. The reason I'm posing this question is because in poker specifically, if you are somebody who is going the engagement farming route, you have to know that you're alienating your peers in the process.
As in most of the people that have made it that see that like, okay, like this is just very clearly trying to sell something.
I think like Chance and Jonathan are like the two clearest examples. They and Ben CB. I think the three of them do the absolute highest volume of engagement farming, and none of it is ever geared towards the people who follow them naturally because they know them in real life, right? So they're peers, the people that they play with, the people that they're friends with, all of that stuff. None of them are like actually engaged with the majority of these tweets. So what I'm saying is like it obviously comes at a cost of alienating your closest group of following, right? And I'm kind of just like wondering, is that exchange worth something?
I mean, it's definitely worth something because I'm sure that they get new people that follow them or pick up some stuff, or
is it worth a lot? I should say,
or it funnels to their like coaching sites because all three of them have respective businesses outside of their Twitter following.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm sure it's worth enough, you know, to get new numbers and subscribers, and they make money off doing that.
And people use social media for different things, right? Some people want to just like have certain discourse with their peers, and some want to use it for marketing, and some want to use it for other things.
Like their peers know that they're engagement farming and doing that for the purpose of trying to leverage their site that makes money.
Yeah. My only pushback is like I would hate to be so calculated or disingenuous that like people that were friends with me in real life had me muted.
I don't necessarily think that it's disingenuous to post about like how to play flush draws or like the best ways to go about making money in poker. I just think that like I understand the trade-off. Like I still think that Chance is great at poker regardless.
No, this has nothing to do with that.
But
obviously.
I don't feel alienated by him when he puts that stuff out either. I don't feel like
not alienated, just like it's like seeing the big booty thread. It's annoyed. It's
I'm just
clutter
like,
on.
Yeah, there's another big booty thread from Chance.
It's just like clutter. It's like clutter on the For You, right?
Yeah, but it's fine. You just scroll through.
Yeah.
I think you're making too much of a big deal about this one, man.
I'm not making a big deal of it at all. I'm asking questions.
You just muted them. And it's fine.
Is he asking questions, Lyndon?
Are you asking questions?
I literally asked questions.
Yeah, he literally asked questions.
For context, I ask questions sometimes and Matt says that they're statements.
They are. They are. But
No, I know you.
I asked a question and sat here silently.
No, I know you're right.
I wasn't trying to propose anything.
I could be biased. I like Chance's posts. He actually reached out to me on Twitter because I just missed his top 5. If it was a top 6, I would have been number 6. So it was a flip.
For toughest poker player he's played against.
Between
I
me
see.
and Phil Ivey. So
Yeah.
You bubbled it.
Damn.
That's unlucky. No, I think that perspective is really good because I would imagine Guapo like falls within the realm of his target audience, right? Like
Number 6, Miguel Gonzalez.
yeah, I just missed it.
right.
Damn.
In spite of being number 6, like you would be somebody who would, if you were going to transition to MTTs, potentially seek out a coach or whatever. So it's like it does make sense to hear that perspective. I guess I'm just like wondering, like
Honorable mention Miguel Gonzalez.
Right. Like my wonderment or my general question here is more so, and this isn't meant to be directed at Chance. It's more
Right.
so the Twitter tactics, the Twitter.
I mean, Ben TB does this stuff all the time, man.
His is rage baiting though.
Yeah, it is. But game is, in my opinion, game is game.
Really?
Yep. I think game is game. You know, it's the Bluebird app. You can't take the Bluebird app too seriously. And if he's trying to monetize off the Bluebird app by saying you all play flush draws horribly
Like,
and you all don't understand
you're just
ICM.
like fine. You're just like fine with like the Andrew Tate type of strategy.
I get it. I'm okay with it. What am I gonna? I'm not gonna stop it.
No, it's not.
The system is bigger than me, man.
Don't move the goalpost. That's not the question being asked.
I don't
It's
do
not,
it.
are you going to put an end to Andrew Tate? That was never the fucking question.
No, but you're saying, do I feel okay with it? I mean, I I never
Well,
took
you can take like ethical issue with things and not expect to solve the problem.
I just never took the time to think about it.
Well, there you go.
But I also
That's actually a really important answer, I think.
well, thinking about it makes me realize I'd rather think about other things, like how to actually play my flush draws correctly.
This is what I was trying to pull out of the conversation the whole time, because that to me is the proper response, right? Like if you actually take a little bit of time to think about it and you recognize that, like, oh man, if this is such garbage that I wouldn't waste my time on it, imagine what every other industry that's pulling my attention on this timeline is like.
But they do.
They do what?
They do engage and interact with it.
I'm just more so
Otherwise-
saying at a personal level, like that would be the aha moment of like, oh, this particular app has just become worthless to me.
I think that Twitter has become worthless to me a while ago, yes.
Yeah.
But like I'm okay with that, but other people find value in it or find some sort of enjoyment out of reading some stuff, because sometimes there's some good things, you know. Sometimes there's some engagement farm-esque kind of like story time, and then there's a thread, you know, like
that's I guess like
that's also engagement farming. You know, you want people to read the story and then respond, and then you say like, what's your favorite poker story?
Well,
right?
That's not what I'm interested in. I'm more so interested in like people that are academic. Like if Rhonda Patrick is going to put out a study on, you know, saunas. Sure, that's engagement farming, but it's just authentic. It's literally just like what she does.
You're probably going to get a lot of value out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. She's leading with value.
Right.
Whereas like general engagement farming is a trap.
It's disingenuous value.
Right.
That's what I see
what
I said initially. It's just a trap. It's just to get you in some sort of loop where you're either fighting with people because it's rage bait, or you're like, you know, kind of like bowing down at the foot of somebody that you consider to be an authority in a space and like, you know, jerking them off saying like, yeah, that's so genius type of stuff.
Right.
Where it's like for like a Rhonda Patrick, you know, maybe a little bit less so a Huberman type, whatever. It's like their whole goal is to get you to listen to their podcast, but they're doing it by leading with snippets of value. Even like a Pat McAfee, it's like when he puts out clips,
okay,
it's going to lead you to the real show.
I think the issue, and I guess it's just a matter of where you do or do not find value in the takes that your peers make. Because when they put out said engagement pieces on like how to play flush draws or like how ranges look with ICM, and what they're doing is they're providing some value, and sure, there might be some rage bait in there somewhere, but as a peer, you might be like, oh, like this probably isn't as accurate as
those aren't the posts I'm talking about though. People posting hand histories, like you're doing the Lord's work, I think. Like that's the proper type of engagement in poker Twitter, discussing the game, right? It's the telling, not asking, right? It's the, did you know that a solver does X and you could do Y and make just as much money? Follow me for more tips. It's like, well, fuck you. That's bullshit. Like you're just cherry picking something that probably isn't true. All of your peers will disagree with you, but everybody who's not in the know will follow blindly. And to me, that becomes like problematic.
Right. So you're taking the ethical stance on.
It's not. I don't even want to make it sound ethical, but it just feels icky. You know, they're not doing anything unethical necessarily, but a better word I think is disingenuous. Like it's disingenuous because they know what they're doing to some degree. And again, this isn't just poker space. This is all spaces.
Well, you're saying that the intent is to trigger or elicit responses from, or funnel. Like there's a bunch of different ways you can go about doing it, but they're for a specific purpose. Like you want them to follow you, and then at some point you want to leverage that later with something else.
You just put out a bunch of niceties that sound good to the uneducated ear, and then they follow blindly as though, you know, you got it all figured out type of stuff. Even like I say I don't have problems with hand histories, and I generally don't if they're posed. Like I love the way LaPlante puts out his hand histories. I think they're very engaging.
Like it's like polls and stuff.
Yeah, they're very engaging, and they elicit discussion, even if it's like disagreements or whatever. I dislike the person who puts out a hand history and like, you know, basically tells you why they played it the way they played it and why that's exactly correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's like, I shouldn't be so rigid because there are exceptions to that too. Like I love what Pads does. Pads like goes through a full-blown review. But what we're seeing with Pads is his process, right?
You get more from Instagram than you do on Twitter.
Agreed, but he does cross-post a lot. And the thing with Pads is like, whether he's right or wrong, it doesn't really matter because he's showing us his process, and I trust that he's gotten this good because his process is very sound. It's the person who skips the process part and just says like,
this is good, trust me.
Here's a hand. Here's the result.
Here's why I did what I did.
Pat me on the back for finding this like insane call off or fold or whatever. And you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like,
there's a bunch of instances.
Yeah,
like
and it's
this.
like I'm even guilty of this sometimes. Like during the summer, I'll do it for comedic effect. Where I'll just like post a hilarious hand history that there's no way you can derive any ounce of strategy from it. But it's just like too good not to post.
Wait, what was your bit this past summer?
Tip of the day.
Oh, tip of the day.
Tip of the day.
It just reminds me of what you're saying. Like, good example, I guess. Of,
that was spurned from the way that I feel right now.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
know, yeah.
Like, I guess an example of a tweet that I think reaches what you're talking about was the Torelli tweet when he was talking about when he had king, queen, and certain blockers made money or indifferent, and other blockers did not make money. And he said, in real life, this doesn't matter. And to an extent, he's kind of right. But then to a peer or someone that understands the game on a deeper level, they'll say, this is wrong, and here's why.
And it's also because he's showing the problem, arriving at a conclusion, and not letting you in on the process. So you don't know why it doesn't matter.
It's like the machine does this, but don't worry about that.
Right. All he's doing is reading an output. And for his peers, they'll say he's reading it incorrectly. And for everybody else who's none the wiser, we'll just shrug and say, I guess that's what that means. And now they start to interpret outputs similarly. So yeah, I think like the process itself, to me, is what makes engagement farming so wonderful. Like I get to see inside of Rhonda Patrick's process when she posts meta studies, right? Or meta analysis, whatever. I get to see inside of Pads' process when he posts a post-session review type of thing.
You want them to appeal to an authority with something that's rooted in facts versus trust me, bro.
Yeah.
I got this one.
Yeah, it's just if you're gonna ask for engagement, either be inquisitive or do it in a way where it's like, this is my process, what do you think? Kind of thing, right? I think whenever it's just shock value of like, I played a hand and it's gonna look weird to you guys, right? Like Ben CB does this all the time. It's always this rage baity type of thing.
Or like nitty fold.
Yeah. He'll just like make a nitty fold and he'll be like, this is why I'm going to show you why this makes millions of dollars. And then it's just a sim output that like, you know, he's configured in a certain way and it makes some amount of money in his Fantasyland sim.
Yeah. Or it's like, I've constructed the sim to the constraints I want, which gives me the output I want. And because of that, I can show you why this works in this instance while not going fully into detail about the general baseline, but then also saying people.
Yeah, it's
like,
a 90-second video.
Like people don't do this, so now you're making money by doing this.
It's a 90-second video explaining. So like clearly there isn't going to be a lot of detail there, right? And it's just going to be an output that we have no idea how we even arrived at, and it's just going to show the result that you want to demonstrate.
Yeah, and I think for me, I can understand the concern or like why this feels icky. At the same time, I understand the point of like business is business and like game is game. Like this is dollars in my pocket. And maybe it's a lot of money.
I shouldn't care about this stuff. It's just, you know.
You just do. This is who you are.
I mean, Twitter is something I engage with for an hour a day. You know, I'm going to make observations.
Sometimes you just see how to play a flush draw and you're like, I don't want to play it like that.
Maybe
you should start commenting on that.
I just enjoy thought-provoking things, and I feel like our space greatly lacks it. I think that's why Pads is such a standout, right?
Or doing what he does. And
granted it's mostly on IG, but I do think that I've never heard somebody say that like his stories aren't like compelling enough to watch. And and you have to understand, like there's times like during Scoop and stuff, he might have 100 stories, each of which is 30 seconds long. So he might be taking up like 50 minutes of your time.
Especially if you're locked in.
People are engaged. It's really good stuff. It's high quality stuff. It lets you in, and some of it, or a lot of it, actually, is just strictly entertaining. You know, it's him yelling "Mamacita" from a balcony, but like it's done in a really good way. You know, if you do 100 stories and 20 of them are strategic, and 60 of them are for comedic effect, and then the other 20 are just to get you to the next story, just get you through, because it's like showing a hand that takes a minute instead of 30 seconds, whatever. Like, that's a really great ebb and flow that you take the user on.
Right. Not everything has to be value all of the time.
It brings you up, it lets you back down gently, and it's a really crafty, creative way of demonstrating training without, like, I don't know if he like put a ton of thought into that strategy, but like it's almost like storyboarding if you're writing a script of some sort.
Yeah.
But he's doing it real time. Like, this is off the cuff.
I can see both sides of the argument very clearly, and I haven't done enough.
Well, clearly,
thinking.
if it didn't work, they wouldn't keep doing it. So obviously,
something
it obviously worked.
The farming is worth something.
Right? Yeah, of course.
And if the farming is worth something, and at the end of the day, like, it's not my place to say how someone makes money.
No,
or not.
I'm not trying to police it. Don't mistake why I'm asking this question.
Yeah,
the engagement police.
Right. You're not saying don't do this.
Correct.
You're saying that, like, what do you think
I'm
about this?
legitimately just asking two people, three people that are on the podcast with me.
Don't at me, bro.
As in, like your Twitter does not do the things that the Solve for Why Twitter does. Like, the Solve for Why Twitter has a bunch of, like, call it the quick studies and then the free stuff, and like that's where you go to learn things about poker.